Hello friends. Today I'm going to explain the novel Renegade Immortal. And one more thing, the scenes in this won't match the anime because this is a pure novel-based story. So just focus on the story itself and enjoy the explanation. Alright, let's begin. When Wang Lin opened his eyes, a sword-shaped shadow flashed across his vision. Mo Lihai was sitting outside of Wang Lin's room. He had been sitting there for 3 days. His face was extremely pale without a trace of blood. During these 3 days, he wanted to enter Wang Lin's room many times, but every time he saw the black mist and the countless restrictions inside, he couldn't help but stop. With the date of the Demon General competition slowly approaching, he became even more anxious, but he knew that Wang Lin had placed restrictions because he was at a critical moment in his cultivation and didn't want others to disturb him. While weighing the pros and cons, Mo Lihai sat outside the room and silently waited. Tomorrow was the day of the Demon General competition, and it was going to be a grim struggle. Mo Lihai's anxiety had reached its peak. If Wang Lin still won't come out today, then he will completely lose his qualification to compete tomorrow. He hesitated for a bit before clenching his teeth, standing up, and stepping toward Wang Lin's room. Mo Lihai sent out his voice. "Brother Wang." Just at this moment, the black mist surrounding the room began to move as if there was a hole somewhere. A vortex formed, and all of the black mist was dragged toward that hole. In almost an instant, the black mist disappeared without a trace. Mo Lihai revealed a joyous expression as he stopped outside the room and stared at the inside. The door was pushed open and Wang Lin slowly walked out. At the moment he appeared, Mo Lihai involuntarily took a few steps back, and his eyes were filled with shock. Right now the current Wang Lin was once more different from before. At the moment he saw Wang Lin, he had the feeling that he was standing below a mountain that reached the heavens. Although Wang Lin wasn't tall, he currently had the air of a grandmaster, and this feeling filled Mo Lihai's mind. "You're injured." Wang Lin closed his eyes and all the aura he released quickly withdrew back inside his body without any of it leaking. Right now there were no fluctuations around his body, it was as if he was immortal. Mo Lihai's feelings changed once more. If Wang Lin was like an immeasurably tall mountain before, now he was like a very deep pool. Although it didn't look very deep, if he were to enter, he would die without a proper burial. Mo Lihai took a deep breath and said, "I lost the battle against Mo Fei." Wang Lin nodded and walked out of the room. He looked up at the sky, and after pondering a bit, he asked, "How long was I in closed-door cultivation for?" "Tomorrow is the Demon General competition," Mo Lihai said. After pondering a bit, he added, "Mo Fei is very strong. He was able to withstand my 10 collapse fist intent, and my 100-wave demon sea was reflected back at me with a rotating disc spell. It was that spell that made me lose." Wang Lin looked at Mo Lihai. Rotating disc spell. Mo Lihai recalled the battle from few days ago and said, "Mo Fei is considered number 1 among the demon generals, and his spells are very mysterious. After he became a demon general and cultivated for 3 years at the Dragon Lake, no one has been able to force him to use a second spell besides the rotating disc. This rotating disc spell has the power to reflect all spells, it is very powerful." Wang Lin's expression was neutral as he said, "Aside from the 10 collapse fist intent and 100-wave demon sea, I don't believe that Bother Mo doesn't have an ace." Mo Lihai looked at Wang Lin and honestly said, "I did use it. It's the spell the Demon Emperor personally taught me called Burning Demon. I used it and was able to break through 17 layers of the 18 layers of the rotating disc before ultimately being defeated. Brother Wang, I had an agreement with Mo Fei. The loser will give up on the Demon General competition. Whether I can get the position of Vice Commander-in-Chief will all depend on Brother Wang." Mo Lihai's heart felt bitter as he took 2 steps back and bowed deeply toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin calmly said, "I'll do my best." Mo Lihai took a deep breath and clasped his hands. "Many thanks, Brother Wang. I won't disturb you any longer. Tomorrow we will go to the Imperial Palace together." With that, he clasped his hands once more and left. His figure contained a hint of bleakness. Wang Lin silently stood inside the courtyard and closed his eyes. He stood there for the entire night. Early in the morning, the sun rose and banished the darkness over Sky Demon City. As the sun shined on the Imperial Palace, powerful battle intent appeared in all 8 cities. Inside the Imperial City in the 10,000-foot square, there was a giant war drum. This drum was completely black, and it gave off an ancient aura that surrounded the area. Teams of black armored demon soldiers stepped out and surrounded the square, then one person suddenly charged out as fast as lightning. His pale hair flowed in the air like a god of war and his fist landed on the war drum. Dong! A muffled sound echoed from the Imperial City and spread across the entire Sky Demon City. The people of Sky Demon City all knew that there was a Sky Demon drum in the Imperial City. It was only used when worshipping the ancestor, opening the Dragon Lake, and other important events. 9 times for the Dragon Lake, 6 for ancestors, and 3 for everything else. The sound of the drum echoed between heaven and earth, and the entire Sky Demon City trembled. Countless people were awakened by the sound of this drum. One by one, the demon generals led their attendants and helpers on the military road toward the Imperial City. All 8 gates of the Imperial City opened up. Many demon soldiers were positioned at the gates to check the identities of the demon generals before letting them in. Today's battle was going to be at the 10,000-foot square near the Sky Demon Gate. There was a powerful formation protecting it, so it wouldn't be easily destroyed. On the eastern part of the square was a 9-story seating section that was more than 1,000 feet wide. Countless officials of Sky Demon City appeared and sat down in their seats. There was only one seat at the top, and that was for the Demon Emperor. In the south and north ends of the square there were 8-story seating sections more than 800 feet wide. The top 2 floors of each only had 4 seats per floor. Of those 16 seats, the top 8 were for the Commander-in-Chiefs, and the bottom 4 were for the Vice Commander-in-Chiefs. At this moment, the entire square was extremely lively. People continued to be seated before the Demon Emperor arrived, and more people were showing up. Among those people, some were yawning. It was clear that they would normally still be in bed at this time. It didn't take long before all the seats were filled except for the Emperors, Commander-in-Chiefs, and Vice Commander-in-Chiefs. Sounds of whispering and talk began. This time Demon General Mo Fei will definitely be ranked number 1, there will be no suspense. Not so, Demon General Shi Xiao has heavenly cultivation. He also found an amazing helper, so Demon General Shi Xiao has the ability to fight for number 1. You can't underestimate Demon General Mo Lihai. That person's cultivation is shocking and he has powerful spells. Let's not forget the spell personally taught to him by the Demon Emperor. He has the qualification to enter the top 3. Mo Lihai. You guys may not know, but he had a battle with Mo Fei and lost. The 2 sides agreed that the loser can't enter the competition today. Oh, is that true? If that is true, then it is a pity for Mo Lihai. Not necessarily so. Although Mo Lihai can't compete, that doesn't mean his helper can't. However, his helper isn't well known, so I'm afraid there is no chance for him to win. Could it be beside those 3, there isn't anyone else who's powerful among the demon generals? Rumor has it that Demon General Yu Sen's Dao of Slaughter has already reached its peak. He is the only person among the demon generals not holding a city and spending most of his time in the Fire Demon country. If he appears, he will definitely cause a storm. That is definitely so. There is also Demon General Mo Wen. His spell is very special, and he inherited it from the Dragon Lake. That person is usually very low-key, so no one knows his full strength. Today I hope to see just what his spells are like. Everyone, don't forget the ranked 4 demon general from 300 years ago, the immortal demon Xie Lian. Xie Lan, the only female among the demon generals. Rumor has it that this person entered the competition 300 years ago with injuries and still won 4th. If she wasn't hurt, then Mo Fei might not have gotten 1st place. Waves of debate echoed across the square. Everyone was guessing who would win the Demon General competition this time. After the old man hit the drum for the first time, he closed his eyes and just quietly stood there. At this moment, he opened his eyes, and he moved so fast that he created an afterimage before he hit the drum. Dong! The second sound from the drum echoed across the square, causing all of the talking to stop. The sound of the drum spread across the entire Sky Demon City. This sound echoed across the sky like roaring thunder and completely drove away the last bit of darkness in the air and ushered in the bright sunlight. As the drum echoed across the sky and the thunderous roar spread, 8 rays of light charged toward the square. They didn't use the gate but flew directly here. Only Commander-in-Chiefs had this qualification. Heaven, Zon, Yellow, Universe, Eternity, and Desolate. The 6 vice-commander-in-chiefs landed from the sky and took their seats on the second highest floors on the north and south seating sections. The Zon vice-commander-in-chief's face was extremely pale. The moment he sat down, he closed his eyes to cultivate and ignored everything around him. After the 6 of them landed, a thunderous roar even louder than the Sky Demon drum echoed across the entire Sky Demon city. The 8 commander-in-chiefs walked toward the square in the sky. Among the 8, there were 7 males and 1 female. The 8 of them clasped their hands at each other before going to their respective seats without saying a word. The appearance of the 8 caught the attention of everyone here, and everyone's eyes were filled with admiration. The respect they had for these 8 people was just below what they had for the Demon Emperor. Even in the entire Demon Spirit land, their names were extremely famous and almost everyone knew them. Dong! The third sound from the drum echoed across the area like a thunderous roar several times fiercer than before. It spread out for thousands of kilometers and everyone's ears were filled with this thunderous roar. Their gazes all looked toward one place, and that place was the empty seat at the very top of the seating area on the east side of the square. After the third sound from the drum, everyone's minds were filled with its echo. The seat was still vacant, and the distinguished figure everyone was waiting for still hadn't appeared. Just at this moment, a man wearing gold armor walked out from the palace behind the square. He swept the area before finally placing his gaze on the square and shouting, "Demon generals, come out." His voice was like raging thunder as it echoed across the square. All of the gates opened and the various demon generals walked in. These demon generals all had cultivators following them. At this moment, everyone's gazes moved away from the empty seat and toward the demon generals. The Zon vice-commander-in-chief opened his eyes and looked at one person among the demon generals with indignation and let out a soft snort. The person he paid attention to was Wang Lin. Wang Lin, while walking behind Mo Lihai, raised his head to look at the Zon vice-commander-in-chief before withdrawing his gaze. Mo Lihai frowned as he looked at the empty seat in the distance and muttered to himself, "Strange, why isn't the Demon Emperor here yet?" As hundreds of demon generals walked through the Sky Demon Gate in 2 rows, powerful battle intent spread out from them and filled the area. The golden armored man said, in a low voice, following the Emperor's order, "The rule is the same as usual. It will be conducted by people challenging others." The golden armored man then slowly said, "Those who are defeated can get their helper to come out, and at the same time, those who won can also retreat and let their helper take their place. Win both rounds and you move on. If it is a win and lose, both sides are disqualified. Also, anyone who wins once in this round can't challenge someone else." His voice wasn't loud, but it entered everyone's ears. Upon hearing this rule, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. Although this rule seemed normal, there was a bloodbath hidden within. This bloodbath was in the fact that if you get 1 win and 1 loss, both sides are disqualified. As a result, everyone will do their best to win in this competition. Once you lose the first round, that means the person who lost has already been disqualified. The only thing they can do is get revenge by making the winner lose the second round so both are disqualified. This is not a competition, but a fight to the death. Wang Lin pondered. The golden armored man spoke once more. There can be death in the competition, but it can't be the demon generals. Once a demon general has died, then the person who killed the demon general will be killed. Wang Lin frowned and coldly looked at the golden armored man. Using the competition between demon generals and the slaughter between cultivators to gain a position, if one wants to obtain a position in the demon spirit land, they must be able to walk through the rain of blood. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and silently pondered. All will pick who starts. The man in golden armor pointed at someone with his right hand. The person he pointed at was a thin man. Demon General Mu Yun, come out. The person pointed at by the golden armored man stepped out and walked onto the square. He was wearing armor and was very thin. His eyes were sunken in and his face had a sickly, yellow color to it. He stood there motionless like an ancient pine tree. Mu Yun. This person can be considered top 30 among the demon generals. Rumor has it that he cultivates the 9 deaths 9 lives cultivation method and that 300 years ago he had already reached 5 deaths and 5 lives. The first person is so strong. The demon general competition this time is interesting. I wonder who will challenge him. It has to be said that the victor of the first match will attract the attention of the demon emperor. Although the demon emperor isn't here, the report will definitely be sent to him. If no one challenges him in 10 breaths of time, I'll appoint someone. After the golden armored man spoke, he closed his eyes and no longer said anything. The thin demon general quietly stood there and time slowly passed by. After the 5th breath, a person among the demon generals came out. At the moment Shi Xiao walked out, Demon General Mu Yun's eyes lit up. At the moment he appeared, many people in the crowd exclaimed, "Shi Xiao! Demon General Shi Xiao! His cultivation can be considered top 3. I wonder if it's considered bullying for him to come out. I originally thought that Shi Xiao's opponent should be Mo Lihai. 300 years ago, Mo Lihai left the first scar on Shi Xiao's face. That was the biggest insult Shi Xiao has suffered. Shi Xiao's appearance can only be considered demonic." He walked up to the square and stopped 300 feet before Mu Yun. Then he calmly said, "Mu Yun, you are not my opponent. Stand down." Demon General Mu Yun revealed a smile. This smile combined with his looks looked like the smile of a corpse and gave off a very dark aura. "Shi Xiao." Mu Yun's right hand reached out and green gas came out from his fingers. There were sizzling sounds as 5 strands of green gas moved around his fingers like 5 snakes. 5 strands of life and death demonic energy. It looks like you have broken through to the realm of 7 deaths and 7 lives. Shi Xiao looked at Mu Yun, then he shook his head and said, "But it is still not enough." Mu Yun sneered as his right hand reached out. The 5 green snakes twisted and suddenly extended like crazy toward Shi Xiao. As the 5 strands of green gas flew through the air, they created powerful gusts of wind. At the same time, a foul smell filled the air. Many of the surrounding demon generals narrowed their eyes as they stared at the 5 strands of green gas, and their eyes were filled with shock. Shi Xiao shook his head, but his body didn't move. He moved his right hand as he pointed with his index finger, then the middle finger, then the ring finger, and finally he pressed his palm forward. A diamond-shaped light suddenly flew out from Shi Xiao's palm and collided with Mu Yun's 5 strands of green gas. There was a series of explosions and a powerful force blew sand everywhere. The 5 strands of green gas were immediately destroyed by the diamond-shaped light. At the same time, the diamond-shaped light shot out at an inconceivable speed. It stopped just before Mu Yun's body and exploded. The force created by the explosion caused Mu Yun's face to immediately turn pale. He was forced back several steps and his eyes were filled with surprise. Shi Xiao withdrew his right hand and calmly said, "I said you aren't enough. Your helper can come out." Just as he finished speaking, the ground began to tremble and a person walked out from the crowd of demon generals. This person's body was huge and he weighed at least hundreds of kilograms. His upper body was naked, and every step he took caused the ground to shake. He arrived before Shi Xiao in 3 steps and grinned. "Little doll, I, the giant spirit sect's esteemed Tian Lui, am Demon General Mu Yun's helper." Wang Lin took a look at the fat man. The giant spirit sect was a big sect on planet Tianyun. It was similar to the giant demon sect that focused on raw power. The giant man let out a roar and took a step forward, then celestial spiritual energy came out from the pores in his body and turned into a mist. At this moment, he was hiding inside the mist as he slammed toward Shi Xiao. The ground trembled as if there were tens of thousands of war horses galloping. The figure in the celestial mist moved quickly, and waves of chanting could be heard. Then a mysterious force suddenly surrounded the surrounding 1,000 feet area to create an imprisonment. There was also a fat person among the demon generals. He was wearing green and had a giant sword behind his back. He looked at the person as he muttered to himself, "This person's current appearance is very similar to my sword spirit." Shi Xiao let out a cold snort. He didn't even move as if he was rooted to the ground. He stretched out his right hand and quickly pointed at the void. Then his hand formed a cone and he stabbed forth. At the moment he pointed at the void, strands of demonic spiritual energy flew out from his body and fused with the cone he had formed with his fingers. At the moment the fat man arrived, Shi Xiao's right hand stabbed forward. The cone created by his fingers broke.